Hello my friends, today we're going to make a card using scraps, and first before I get started I wanted to share with you how I store my scraps. First I have a set of little Tupperware 5 little drawers on my desk in front of me, and the very first drawer is the scraps for white cardstock. So any white, I go here first to stamp anything, and anytime I finish cutting a little piece I throw it in this drawer, close it up, and it's good to go and it's always ready for me to use. So this is how I store my white scraps, and it's always the first drawer right here in front of me. Then I have these little photo boxes I got from Michael's. They fit 4x6 photos, and they're stackable clear plastic, and they also will fit in any photo storage container that you may have. I have just 3. And I separate my scraps by this is the craft and ivory or any kind of vanilla, kind of another neutrals that I use a lot. So I have a separate scrap just for that. Then I have another container just for any colored cardstock. So that goes in here, and you can see it's pretty full. And then another one is just for designer paper scraps. So not sorted by color or theme or anything like that, just any scrap of designer paper I store in here. And then I do have my larger scraps in my vertical paper storage where I store my 12x12s and 8.5x11 papers, and I just stick them in between those papers if they're large enough and they don't fit in these containers. And then those I still sort through, and it's easy to find for me that way. One other thing I use to store my scraps is, this is just an unused Starbucks cup. And as you can see, it just stores my strips of scraps, whether it's cardstock or designer paper. So I have a lot of these, being a card maker and scrapbooker. I always have long strips, and I always need long strips for accents and things. So I just have this cup here. It's on the edge of my desk. It is pretty to look at sometimes, but when it gets really full like this, it's a little more of an eyesore, so I try to use up from this scrap pile as much as I can. Even I put my punched edges, like this one for example, that I only used part of it, so now I have one ready to go if I wanted to use it, and I just throw it in here and hope to use it sometime. So that's how I store my paper scraps, so I hope that was helpful for you. And so again, because my scraps are kind of full, my goal lately has been to use my scraps, so I just wanted to share with you what I made lately. I made some 3x3 little gift cards for some little of my friends' daughters. So again, just use a little scrap ribbon, scrap white, and just some basic stamping there. Very simple 3x3 card here. And then here was another card I made for another friend's daughter as well. Again, just using scrap designer paper, scrap pieces of white, and then again, just basic stamping and adding a little bit of embellishment. So today we're going to make another quick and easy 3x3 card using my scraps. So here are my scraps. I have these 3 little pieces, and a nice way to use your scraps is to use your punches with them. So I have this little itty bitty punch. It came in a set of 3 from Stampin' Up, which is perfect for these little tiny strips that you can just punch out of. I think this is even less than ½ an inch wide, so it's nice to have these little punches. So my card base is vanilla. This is another scrap and another scrap. And I just cut them down just a little bit so that they would overlay each other nicely. So I'm going to use my ticket corner punch from Stampin' Up. And I'm going to just punch those 4 corners. So now I'm just going to layer those. I'm going to use my punch and just start punching flowers from these scraps. I don't know how many I need, but I'll just punch a few in each color or each pattern. So what my card is going to look like is basically have this, another strip of cardstock from my scrap pile of just some basic craft, which is going to go across. I have a little piece of ribbon. I think I'm just going to add as an accent, like kind of like this. And then these flowers will just go in a cluster. So I think in a matter of order. I think I should glue this down first. That. Get my scissors here. Okay. I'm going to add my ribbon, and I'm just going to put some adhesive on the back and wrap the ribbon around it. So I'm going to line it up here in front and then just wrap the edges and press it down into the adhesive. Okay, so there's what we have so far. And I think I'm going to glue that down. And then I'm going to assemble my flowers in a minute. I want to get my sentiment on here. So I have this stamp that says Big Smile. It's from Hero Arts Cupcakes Mini CL168. And I'm going to stamp that on this white, again another scrap. And so I'm just going to color the word smile with my marker. And I'm going to stamp that here. And then I'm going to use my postage stamp punch and line up my image towards the top and get it somewhat centered. And then punch that out. And now this is a scrap I can feel happy throwing away. And I'm going to end up tucking this underneath, so I don't care about the bottom, but I am going to trim it just a little bit because it is long. So about like that. That's what I was hoping for. So I'm going to adhere that down. Okay, put that. And now I'm just going to put all my flowers. I almost just want to throw them on here and just glue them down. And then I'm just going to add little dots to the center of each flower. And there you go, a very simple card using your scraps. Hope you enjoyed. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.